You're about to book your trip, and then you see the headlines. Conflict in the Middle East, rising tensions, flights being rerouted, and suddenly, one question hits you. Should you cancel your trip to Thailand in 2026?
And because we're here in the region, we can tell you what this actually feels like on the ground, not just what it looks like from the headlines. Because right now, a lot of travellers are hesitating, not because something is happening inside Thailand itself, but because global conflict has a way of creating fear far beyond where it actually exists. And when that happens, people start questioning everything. Is flying still safe? Will routes change? Will prices spike? Is it smarter to wait? So let's break this down clearly. No hype, no panic. What's actually happening right now is not a collapse in Thailand itself. It's pressure coming from the outside. Global tensions are affecting aviation routes, fuel prices, and, most importantly, traveller confidence.
Here's what it actually feels like on the ground. Thailand is running as usual, airports are busy, hotels are fully operational, and the main tourist areas are completely open. If you landed in Bangkok, Phuket, or Chiang Mai today, nothing would signal a country in crisis. You'd feel like you just arrived on vacation and we're here in the region experiencing it in real time. What you're seeing online doesn't match the reality on the ground, but while Thailand itself is stable, getting here has become more complicated. There's a noticeable rise in flight postponements and strategic cancellations, especially on routes that pass through or near the Middle East. Airlines are being extremely cautious. If a flight path carries even a small risk, they're rerouting, delaying, or canceling altogether to prioritize safety. At the same time, Thai officials are warning that if global tensions continue, tourism will feel the effects. Some projections suggest the country could see up to 3 million fewer foreign visitors if the situation drags on for several months.
Now let's talk about what has actually changed. Air travel is the first piece. Some long-haul routes, especially between Europe and Asia, are being adjusted to avoid certain airspaces. That can mean slightly longer flights, and in some cases, higher ticket prices. Nothing drastic, just noticeable. At the same time, flight networks are stabilizing. After an initial wave of disruptions, cancellations began to ease, and routes gradually adapted.
But here's where things get a little more complicated: safety, perception versus reality. Now let's talk about safety, because this is exactly where the headlines get it wrong. When you hear the word war, it feels immediate, it feels personal. But look at the map. Geographically, Thailand is thousands of miles removed from the fire. On the ground in Bangkok or Phuket, there are no changes to safety, no new restrictions, no disruptions to your daily life. The impact isn't physical, it's indirect. You're dealing with higher costs, more cautious crowds, and a bit more uncertainty when planning. But your physical safety, that hasn't changed. And that's the key difference most people miss. The risk feels massive, but the reality is stable. Why? Because Thailand operates on what's often called bamboo diplomacy. It bends with global pressures instead of breaking, staying neutral and open to everyone. That's why it continues to act as a global meeting point where people from all sides can sit in the same place, peacefully. They're there for the same reason you are, to find a sense of escape. That deep-rooted neutrality is the invisible shield that helps keep the land of smiles stable, even when the rest of the world feels tense.
Here's something that rarely gets talked about. Global crises don't hit every part of a country equally. There have been reports of localized fuel pressure in some regional areas of Thailand, particularly outside major tourist zones. In certain provinces, temporary shortages or rationing have been observed. However, after early disruptions, authorities stepped in to stabilize supply, easing pressure on the system and preventing wider impact. These situations remain limited and are not affecting major travel destinations, but they do show how global energy costs can ripple into local systems. So while your beach destination might feel completely normal, the broader economy is quietly adjusting behind the scenes. And that's the real impact of a global conflict like this, not chaos, but pressure.
Is flying safe right now? So what about flying? The short answer is yes. Aviation doesn't take risks lightly. Routes are constantly monitored and adjusted in real time. If an airspace is considered unsafe, it's avoided immediately.
Now here's where smart travelers separate themselves. They don't try to predict the future. They build flexibility into their plans. If you're traveling in 2026, this matters more than ever. Choose flights that can be changed or refunded. Even if it costs a little more, it buys you control. Book hotels with free cancellation. Lock in a good rate, but keep your options open. And don't skip travel insurance. Not because Thailand is unsafe, but because global conditions can affect flights, timing, and logistics. These decisions don't just protect your money, they remove uncertainty. And that changes how you experience the entire trip. So, should you still travel? So here's the real answer. For most travelers, there is no clear safety-based reason to cancel a trip to Thailand in 2026. The country is stable, tourism is active, infrastructure is functioning, but this isn't just about safety. It's about how you feel. If global uncertainty makes you uneasy, waiting is a valid choice. But if you're looking at the facts, not the headlines, Thailand remains a strong, viable destination. In some ways, this moment even creates opportunity. Slightly fewer crowds, more flexible pricing, a different kind of travel experience.
The key right now is simple. Stay informed, but stay grounded. Keep an eye on your flight, understand your route, and build flexibility into your plans. Because the real risk isn't the destination, it's making decisions based on fear instead of facts. Thailand in 2026 hasn't changed in the ways that matter most. It's still vibrant, active, and welcoming. But behind the scenes, global tensions are creating pressure, affecting demand, costs, and how people choose to travel. That's the reality. Not panic, not perfection.
So the question becomes more personal, not just, is it safe? But do I feel comfortable going? Because travel today isn't just about where you go, it's about how you plan. Timing, flexibility, and smart booking decisions matter more than ever. And if you approach it the right way, you can still have an incredible trip, without the uncertainty weighing you down. Thank you for watching. Be sure to check out the related video on your screen for more fascinating content. Explore our channel for even more exciting videos. If you found this video helpful, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to GlobeGazette for more incredible stories. Your support means everything to us. We look forward to seeing you in the next video.